Coming up on Trans World Sport, we go speedway racing in the Czech Republic.
We head to England to find out more about the Parkrun phenomenon.
We take aim at the annual Crazy Golf World Championships.
And we're in the Austrian city of Innsbruck for the Golden Roof Challenge.
No brakes, a single gear, big stakes, little fear. The Speedway World Championship is not for the faint-hearted. Featuring single-cylinder engines powered by pure methanol, the bikes can go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3 seconds. Round 3 of the World Championships took place in Prague, in the Czech Republic. Poland's Bartosz Smartslick and Patryk Dudek occupied the top 2 spots in the leaderboard going into the meet. A Pole has finished on the overall winner's podium 5 times in the past 6 years, and 27-year-old Patryk Dudek is currently well placed to eclipse his runner-up performance of 2017.
My ambition is simple. I want to be the best rider in the world. And of course, I want to finish my career in good health and have as few falls as possible. Most importantly, I just want to enjoy riding and please my fans who come and support me. I used to be a fan myself, and now the spectators are applauding me, which is amazing. The biggest thank you, in my opinion, is when I hear the fans chanting Patryk Dudek after a competition.
Patryk is following in the tyre treads of his father Slawomir, who was a 2-time Polish Speedway champion. Now Patryk's coach, Slawomir, believes his son is capable of great things in the sport.
We have our goal, and that is to win the World Championship title. I can't tell when we will win it, but we want to do so as soon as possible, and as many times as possible. We'll just keep doing our best, and we'll overcome any obstacles along the way. I know that Patryk is certainly capable of winning the Speedway Grand Prix. So that's what we are both working towards.
Patryk has a strong chance of winning the title this season. He knows what it's like to taste victory, having already clinched the Speedway World Cup 3 times for Poland. However, the 27-year-old is keeping his feet on the ground. Away from the sport, he's a quiet family man. He relaxes by watching movies, cooking, or spending time with his girlfriend, Kasia. It is on the track where Patryk makes his noise.
We experience a real adrenaline rush when we're out there on the track. We are kind of like gladiators, competing in an arena where people come and watch us, and we race for them.
Patryk made it through to the semi-finals in Prague. He assessed his competition from the stands in the first semi.
First semi-final. And the riders settle down. Craig Ackroyd, the referee, with his finger on the button. Here we go. And away from the start they go, and it's Jason Doyle who's made a beauty from gate number 2 now. Who's going to emerge? Max Frick on the outside! What a move from the man in the white helmet colour. Second place is Jason Doyle. It's an Australian 1-2. You can expect Leon Madsen to pile the and he's battling through into second. What a race here as Madsen comes through again. Frick goes wide. No run! Slams him up against the fence. Tough move from Madsen. Madsen comes from 3rd to 1st in half a lap. What a ride that is. Certainly Doyle now in second place will have the full attention of Max Frick. But what a ride from Madsen, Nigel. He took final. Ruthless Leon Madsen left no room whatsoever, and he's got the lead here, and he's well clear, just as Doyle and Frick were battling away for the lead. Madsen has come through, and now Frick's going to make one last swoop around the outside. Here comes Max Frick to try and pass Jason Doyle. Madsen's in the final, and Doyle just about gets there.
What a semi-final that was for Madsen again, coming through the traffic. Incredible move there. Max Frick will have a word, I'm sure, because that was a tough old move down the back straight. Madsen's delighted. What a ride from him. He really has been stunning again tonight. Hasn't been easy from the inside gate, but crikey did he have some speed, and he charges into the final.
Next up was Dudek in the second semi-final.
Here we go, Dudek's made a beauty off the inside. Now around the outside, charging hard is Janusz Kolodziej. What a move from the pole, and here comes Emil Sayfutdinov. Sayfutdinov through into second place. Dudek is third, and Lindgren is at the back. What about this from Janusz Kolodziej? Emil Sayfutdinov, and now Dudek tries the inside run on Sayfutdinov.
Oh! Fight again! Brilliant stuff from Kolodziej in the first corner. Sayfutdinov, well, he was an opportunist there, got himself into second place. Dudek working hard. Freddie Lindgren, well, we fancied his chances, but he's out the back. Look at Sayfutdinov coming on strong in second place. Another stunning speedway race here. Kolodziej enjoying us. Oh, can you believe it? Can you believe it?
Oh, now Lindgren's going to challenge Dudek. Lindgren could yet get past Dudek.
No, he hasn't. Oh, I thought for a moment he was there.
Right, here we go into turns 3 and 4. Sayfutdinov's furious about his bike. It's Janusz Kolodziej from Patryk Dudek. It's a Polish 1-2.
Wow, this meeting's taken a while to get lively, but crikey, the last 2 races are worth the admission price on their own. Fantastic speedway by Madsen initially. What a semi-final. Kolodziej, well, it's gone unnoticed there because he's won quite comfortably. But you've got to feel for Emil Sayfutdinov. Bike packing up late in the semi-final when he'd ridden so well to get through to second place. Oh, I do feel for him. He was in the final last year, won't be this year. Dudek is the beneficiary there, and Dudek leads the World Championship from Madsen by just 1 point. What a night.
Patryk Dudek had the opportunity to extend his lead at the top of the championship with victory in his 3rd successive final. His father Slawomir watched on with anticipation.
Proper tear up, this one.
Proper tear up, yes.
Here we go, 4 laps to go here. And it's a great start from Kolodziej off gate 3. He's made the start brilliantly. And now Dudek up the inside, but Kolodziej comes through. Dudek second, here comes Madsen now. Madsen in 3rd spot. Doyle is the man at the back who's trying the outside run now. Kolodziej has the lead. Madsen up the inside for 2nd. Madsen now chasing hard after Kolodziej. This race isn't done yet, Kel.
Kolodziej out in front, but Madsen's got an answer. He's going to get up the inside here. He's got so much speed coming off the turns. Kolodziej just about hangs on there. Dudek out the back. Gate 4 didn't work for Doyle. Madsen again pushing so hard in second place. Great start from Kolodziej. Can he hang on? Because Madsen has got so much speed. Really is going to wind it on. Kolodziej's there, but Madsen's coming, Nigel. Really coming on strong.
Yep, Janusz Kolodziej is under a bit of pressure. Madsen hanging on in there, trying to have a go, but it looks as though Kolodziej is going to do it. And it looks as though the World Championship will be level at the top. Janusz Kolodziej of Poland does it.
Wow, what a result.
Second, Patryk Dudek third, Jason Doyle at the back. The crowd erupts here in Prague. And it does mean now that in the World Championship, it is Patryk Dudek 40, Leon Madsen 40, and Bartosz Marslik 36. 2 riders tied at the top of the World Championship, but it's congratulations to Janusz Kolodziej of Poland, who takes a victory here in Prague.
When I started and I be first, I prepped in the bike because Leon be very fast, and I feeling him, and I try to keep throttle, but today is a good day, long day today, and you know, it's very tired, you know. But I am so happy. This is my first time in GP in the first, and I can't believe it now.
So it was the Poles on top again. Janusz Kolodziej on the night and Patryk Dudek in the overall championship. We'll bring you more from the series as the season progresses.
Now it's time for our sporting question. July will see the 2019 Netball World Cup take place in England. Looking to improve on their fourth place finish at the last World Cup 4 years ago will be Jamaica. They'll be led by their star woman, Jhaniele Fowler. The 6-foot, 6-inch goal shooter is one of the best players in the world.
One day my physical education teacher, she came up and said that she was going to start a netball team for the school. So she selected all the tall girls, and of course I was the tallest girl in school, you know, at primary level, and I was the goal shooter then when she selected me. So that's where my netball career started.
The 29-year-old has represented Jamaica at 2 World Cups and 4 Commonwealth Games, much to the delight of her mother.
I'm telling you, I am proud when she represents Jamaica to know that, you know, from humble background, my daughter that I care for 9 months is representing Jamaica on a large scale, travel all the world, you know, places that I read about.
Jhaniele currently plays her club netball for West Coast Fever in the Australian Suncorp Super League. In the Suncorp off-season, she returns home to play in Jamaica, and Jhaniele has been the main reason as to why the Sunshine Girls are now a real force on the international netball stage.
I've been underestimating myself, and I think it's a good thing for me to underestimate myself because then it gives me more room to improve, you know. So, no, I'm not at my peak as yet, and there is definitely a lot more come from me.
Jhaniele has represented her country 60 times, but that's some way off the record number of international appearances. And for our question, we'd like you to name the most capped player of all time. Answer later on.
At 8:30 on a Saturday morning, most of London is still fast asleep. But at Northala Fields Park, in the northwest of the city, there is a hive of activity. A group of local volunteers are coming together to prepare for Parkrun. Parkrun is a weekly running event which is changing the way people and communities exercise together around the world. The organisation's CEO is Nick Pearson.
Parkrun is a series of physical activity and social events that happen all over the world in wonderful parks like this on every Saturday morning and Sunday morning with our junior events. They centre around a 5k run or jog or walk. They're delivered by local volunteers. They're community events and they're access points for the whole community to join in on free physical activity.
Don't be shy, come in.
Volunteers like Claire Morris are essential for making Parkrun events happen.
Today I'm just doing the first timers briefing, so explaining the course and explaining Parkrun to any first timers, any tourists. But yeah, it really varies. Some of the roles are literally just standing and pointing and cheering. Some of them are a bit more involved and require coffee in the cafe whilst trying to make finishing times tally with tokens, which doesn't always work first time, but we get there in the end.
Morning! Welcome to Northala Fields Parkrun.
Fiona Kennedy is run director at Northala Fields Parkrun.
We thank our volunteers because without them we couldn't have the run at all. We recognise our milestones. Today we had somebody doing their 100th run, but we also like to celebrate birthdays because it's about community, it's about the people that are here. We like to celebrate the absolute first timers as well because we know they're going to be back. This is addictive. This is your Saturday morning, it's gone for like forever now. You know, if you do parkrun, you're here for good.
At exactly 9 a.m. every Saturday morning, an average of 300,000 runners take part in over 1,800 parkrun events in 23 countries around the world. All of this began with one man and one simple idea.
In 2004, the founder Paul, who's here today, who was injured at the time, wanted to get a group of people together that he could spend some time with on a regular basis while he was injured.
I was suffering normal stresses that people suffer. I had problems at work, I had relationship problems, and on top of that I got injured.
And he brought 13 people together in Bushy Park in southeast London for a timed run around the park, and then they went for a coffee afterwards and spent the rest of the morning putting the world to rights.
I decided probably the best thing I could do for my mental well-being, my physical well-being, was to bring my friends to me once a week. And that happened every single week, and the numbers grew, and before long we were having coffee from about 10 in the morning till about 12:30. And it is the most important part of what we do after the event today. People are coming together, establishing new relationships, finding out where they can get the support they need. And it's so relaxed, it's so easy, and it's just a lot of fun.
That really set the kind of template and the model. It's a little bit of low pressure, you know, relatively relaxed, running, jogging, walking, whatever you want it to be, followed by a coffee and a chat with your friends.
Since its inauguration in 2004, Parkrun has succeeded in getting over 250,000 inactive people into regular weekly exercise. In the UK alone, over 600 events take place each Saturday morning, providing over 180,000 people with access to free physical exercise. But the most important thing about Parkrun is its ability to bring people together.
I didn't actually know people in this area before I'd started coming to this parkrun. And I joined a local running club and started doing this one and got to know all sorts of people, and there's different groups of people that might not necessarily have joined a sporting thing, but somehow this feels more accessible. It's not just for fast people, sporty people, plenty walk around at the back. There's different groups of people, there's all kinds of different languages, and people have made friends across communities in a way that probably wouldn't have done without something like this.
I think what Parkrun often stands for is like a little window of positivity in your week. And it's just a phenomenally positive time and experience. And I think that people really value that and they miss that in their busy lives.
Once a year, the historic English seaside town of Hastings is the location for the Crazy Golf World Championships. The event is now in its 17th year, and this year 110 crazy golfers turned up to tackle the many obstacles that the course had to offer.
There's been a few modifications to this course. I mean, the most notable one is the windmill hole over there, which in the past we've been able to go around the side of it, but they've made it more a case of where you have to play through the middle of the windmill now. So more traditional crazy golf style. You know, watch the blades go round, try and time it right, go through the middle, and not have to hit the wood.
Go!
Crazy golf, or mini golf as it's also known, took off as a sport in America during the 1920s. Today, there are almost 50 national federations, with around 40,000 registered players. Here, competitors played a total of 6 rounds over 2 days, with the top 18 progressing to a final round. Reigning world champion Mark Chapman was back in Hastings looking to retain his crown.
So every year the course here at Hastings Adventure Golf, they like to maintain the course. That includes refelting it, that includes maybe changing the obstacles slightly. So every year you come back, it's a new challenge, which is nice. It's you know, keeps everything nice and fresh and refreshed. And for a player to come back that's played over the last decade, again, it just makes it a tough test. It is the ultimate one-ball championship in world mini golf.
The 2019 World Championships attracted complete novices and top international players, with a prize of £1,000 on offer to the winner.
I'm so passionate about this hobby of mine that you know, anyone can play, doesn't matter male, female, old, young. Just come out, enjoy the weather now that summer's looming, and just test yourself against the course.
Novices play in this competition as well, so to encourage them to play their own competition rather than being involved or being mixed up with everybody. So it gives the people that don't play very regularly more of an opportunity and more of a chance of winning a prize or a trophy for themselves. So, and it does encourage more people to come along and play, I think.
On the day, England's Mark Chapman successfully defended his title. He would finish 2 strokes ahead of his nearest challenger.
I was 4 shots behind going into the last round, and I've just shot a monster round of 29. So that's 7 holes in 1 and all the other holes are 2 to overtake the leader now. So I'm now 1 shot in the lead going into the last round. Again, a fantastic opportunity to retain my title this year.
The left-hander from England navigated the giant windmills, tunnels and uneven bounces to record a 7-round total of 17 under par. When he's not playing crazy golf, the 33-year-old earns a living as a fencing instructor. All of the hours of practice paid off, and Mark went back to his hometown of Canterbury in Kent, £1,000 richer. And no doubt, Chapman will be back again next year to try and make it 3 in a row.
I must be pretty good at this. To come through all of that, I've got to have some talent with this thing that's lived with me for 10 years and just putted every putt I've ever made. Yeah, starting on this course. Till you know, to where I am today. It's amazing. It's amazing. This is going to become a yearly question now, isn't it? Oh God! If I go in there, yeah. I don't know. Let's enjoy this. I will enjoy this, and then yeah, why not? I'm going to regret saying that now.
Our top 5 now looks at some more different versions of golf. First up, snow golf. The greens are known as white and bright coloured balls are used. One of the early players of snow golf was British writer Rudyard Kipling. It's believed that whilst writing The Jungle Book in Vermont, Kipling relaxed by playing the sport during the winters of the 1890s.
Speed golf pitches skill and precision against pace and quick thinking. The sport employs a stroke play scoring system, so players attempt to complete an 18-hole course in as few shots as possible. But in contrast to regular golf, the time in which the course is completed is added to the final score.
Disc golf, or frisbee golf, sees players aiming to complete a course in the fewest number of throws. The discs are approximately the same size in diameter, but their varying thicknesses and edges produce different flights. The sport was first played in Canada back in 1926.
Not exactly a different version of golf, but we thought you'd enjoy seeing how, at a club in La Paz, a group of indigenous Bolivian women, or cholitas, have fallen in love with the sport. These women all work as greenkeepers, and whenever they get a break from their duties, they relax by playing a few holes.
And perhaps our favourite version of golf here at Trans World Sport is foot golf. The origins are unclear, but its development into an official sport can be attributed to the Netherlands, where a set of standardised rules were finalised in 2009. The key for any foot golfer is matching power with precision, and like regular golf, the short game is crucial. Some of golf's finest emerging talent from 19 countries gathered in Japan recently for the Women's Amateur Asia Pacific Tournament. Amongst the Chinese Taipei contingent were sisters Yu Sang and Yu Chang-hu. Yu Sang is a year older at 19.
We both love Japan a lot, and we very exciting. Since I go to the university in state, we didn't have much time together, and it's just really fun to see her and exciting. Yeah.
We both want to play well in this tournament, and then last few weeks we've been to Augusta together, and then that is pretty cool experience. So we always love to play the same tournament
together.
Share the experience, everything together, hang out together.
The teenage sisters are pretty close in terms of golfing achievements so far. They shot the same score at the inaugural Augusta National Women's Amateur. And they headed to Japan just one place apart on the World Amateur Golf Rankings.
We've been doing that since we stopped playing golf. We've shot the same score a lot of times, and I just think that is so weird. We don't even know how that happened. But it's just so weird. We are totally different. Totally opposite.
Yeah, because she hit her driver so far, so she's more aggressive player, and then.
But she's better in the short game, and she's just more careful every shot. It's just totally different. We used to fight when we were little. We cannot play together in the same group. We will literally fight, and people are like, okay. But now, as we grew up, we just now know that
we more help each other.
In the practice round, and then we just love to hang out with each other.
And then talk a lot after the round.
It's have someone to know you the best on the golf course with you. It's just a huge support, and in your mind and in your heart, it's she's there.
As well as motivating each other, Yu Sang and Yu Chang draw inspiration from their shared idols in both the men's and women's games.
We both love Tiger Woods.
Yeah, Tiger.
And then for a lady, I love Yani Zheng.
Yeah, me too.
She's from the country, and then we both know her. We both met her a lot of times, and she's a really nice person and player, and she always helps us a lot.
Yeah,
we just love
help
her. Yeah.
Our country and help the kids.
Support everyone back home. Yeah.
Five-time major champion Yanni Seng is a hard act to follow, but the Who's are aiming for the very top.
It's the best. It's gonna be the best thing ever to play on tour with my sister, and we all very exciting and look forward to see that happen.
Yeah. We'll try hard and then work harder.
Yeah.
Horses have been a main part of my life since I was very young. I started riding around when I was 10. This was the family garden where we all started. The first show here actually was about 40 years ago. There were no big international rings at that time, just here, a small show. But people from Mexico City came, and this is where everything began for the family.
The Club Ipico in Copaxpan, Mexico, has been part of the Chedre family for over 4 decades. Antonio Chedre took over its presidency from his father and has helped to grow the venue into one of the top facilities in the country.
The atmosphere that my father and mother wanted to give to this place still remains, and we're so happy and to make sure that it stays the same for a long period of time.
Every year, the venue hosts the CSIO 5-Star Horse Show, and in 2014, the FEI Jumping Nations Cup was added to its lineup.
It's a very important show that really allows all the Mexican riders and horses to develop better, to be exposed to higher competition. Having here the American team, the Canadian team, it's very important that we're able to keep them here showing, learn from them, compete against them. It's something that we want to keep going and keep doing.
As well as helping to run the showground, Antonio is also a director of the family business, the Chedre supermarket chain, which, like the venue, has been passed down through the generations.
That's my professional job. That's my profession. Horses are probably the most important part of my life, after my family, of course. But I have been lucky. I have been able to represent Mexico, my country, in World Equestrian Games, Pan Am Games, Olympic Games, Central American Games, and probably representing Mexico has been the most important part of my career.
Antonio shares his equine passion with his eldest son, Antonio Chedre Prom, who is beginning to make his mark on the international show jumping scene at the senior level.
My dad inspired me to start horseback riding. I was born when he was already doing it. I remember that when I used to watch him, I admired his enthusiasm while he was doing it, his eagerness to win, and obviously his talent, his way of doing it, and I fell in love with the sport.
With both father and son competing at the recent CSIO 5-Star show, the whole family had travelled from their farm in Mexico City to lend their support.
My family has been one of the pillars of my equestrian life because they support me with the horses. They support me with a place where I can ride and work and learn about this stuff. And they support me with their moral support, with them coming to every show. I think my family and I are all a big team. We all love horses, and we really enjoy being around horses and being around the competitions and everything.
Another important factor that has been crucial to the Chedre's equestrian success is the backing of their long-serving equine team.
I cannot imagine to be able to compete at this level without the help of our grooms. Jose, we call him Michas, is part of my competition family. He travels with me everywhere with my horses, and I really appreciate the work they do.
With a strong support network behind them, the father and son pairing can concentrate on their future goals.
I'm quite ambitious, and I have big goals. I would love to represent my country in the Olympic Games, and to represent my country in some of the biggest shows in the world. I think now the most important thing to do is to go out of Mexico, do some bigger tours. I'm planning on going to Spruce Meadows in the summer, and maybe a couple of shows in Europe after that. And so I think that's what's next. That's the most important thing right now.
I still have pending a bucket list show, which is the Dublin show. I studied there when I was very, very young, a child, 40 years ago. So I really want to go back and to be able to do that show. That's the main goal I have for this summer. And if it's possible to be able to represent my country again in the Olympic Games, I would really love to do that.
For the whole Chedre family, one important vision remains.
Well, I really want to keep this show going, and it's something that we want to keep going and keep doing, and of course maintaining the same atmosphere that this horse show has had for the last 40 years.
Now for the answer to our sporting question. Earlier in the show, we asked you to name the netball player with the most international caps. The answer is Irene van Dijk, who has made an incredible 217 international appearances. Van Dijk is originally from South Africa and made her debut for the national team in 1994, playing a total of 72 games. However, in 2000 she moved to live in New Zealand and switched to nationalities, going on to be capped 145 times by the Silver Ferns. The schoolteacher, who was renowned for regularly shooting 300 goals a day in practice to maintain her form, announced her retirement from international netball in 2014 at the age of 41.
Once a year, the Austrian city of Innsbruck hosts some of the world's leading pole vaulters and long jumpers for the Golden Roof Challenge. The event takes place underneath the city's famous Golden Roof, which was built for Emperor Maximilian I over 500 years ago. He used the balcony to observe festivals that took place in the square below. The organiser of the Golden Roof Challenge is Armin Margreiter.
The Golden Roof Challenge has been around since 2005, and the crowd is so close to the action. At a stadium event, there are 4 or 5 events taking place at the same time. Here, the athletes have the undivided attention of all. The event has cult status amongst the athletes. The lineup this year is great. The big star is Juan Miguel Echevarria of Cuba. He's the best long jumper in the world right now. Aksana Gataulliuna is here too. She's an up-and-coming pole vaulter. Konstantinos Philippidis is the defending pole vault champion, and he's back. And the women's long jump has Marina Beck-Romanchuk, Natasya Mirachik-Ivanova and Alina Rotaru. They're all in the world's top 5.
It's a very special event for us. The people, the crowd, the shoutings, the encouragement, everything is giving power. So for me it's a very big pleasure to compete in the street meets, and especially into Golden Roof Challenge.
I really like this competition because the crowd is so close. There's good music and a great atmosphere.
Having the people close by gives me a boost. I think that I perform better with them around, and it really motivates me.
I'm a showman, so I like when people make some waves of energy for me. It's very incredible.
The crowd can actually see what really goes into detailing, how precise you have to be in your mark, how precise it is to be on the board.
The Golden Roof Challenge for me is a fun event for me. Great atmosphere and beautiful buildings and just a lot of fun.
The women's pole vault competition was a fiercely contested affair. Russian Aksana Gataulliuna was in contention for the win, and she needed to clear 4 meters 46 to stay in the competition. The 18-year-old had to settle for second place on this occasion.
I really wanted to jump high, but I didn't know how to do that.
Sweden's Angelica Bengtsson entered the competition at 4 meters 46, and this was her first attempt at that height. The 25-year-old cleared it with ease to ensure victory was hers. The bar was then raised 15 centimetres to 4 meters 61. A clearance at this height would be a competition record. The Swede is hoping to be in the mix for the medals at this year's Athletics World Championships, and this win will certainly boost her confidence.
I'm very happy. That was the first goal of today, to win, and the second goal was to take a competition record. And just being here in this atmosphere and seeing Austria was so worth the effort to come here.
20-year-old Juan Miguel Echevarria is the most exciting talent in the long jump for years. Many in the sport even believe that the Cuban can be the man to break Mike Powell's 28-year-old world record of 8 meters 95.
I'm looking for a good result and feel pretty good compared to the last competition I was in. We have better weather and conditions, so I expect a decent performance. Maybe not a meet record, but I'll put on a show and give it my best.
Great Britain's Ferron Sayers went into the lead in the second round with a leap of 7 meters 81. The 24-year-old Englishman is also a talented high jumper and sprinter. Juan Miguel Echevarria took off from way behind the board on his first 3 jumps, and he was determined to deliver on his 4th attempt. This time he nailed his takeoff and jumped 8 meters 15. It was good enough to secure victory ahead of Ferron Sayers.
I'm not satisfied with my performance. I felt good, but I could have done better. I like this place a lot, and it's the first time that I've competed at somewhere like this. The crowd is so close, and they gave me a lot of support.
It was a great day in front of a great crowd. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to jump the 8 meters that I wanted and stuff, but overall it was a good competition and stuff, and I'm happy to come second.
While the athletes were in town, the organisers of the event showed them around the local area. Juan Miguel Echevarria was taken to Innsbruck's highest mountain, the Nordkette. The Cuban long jumper had never been on a mountain before, and it was only the second time in his life that he'd seen snow.
It's good to sample the new experiences that being an athlete can offer. It's interesting and beautiful getting to know different cultures. I'm happy, and I want to do more of this sort of thing because there are many places that I want to see.
Pole vaulter Angelica Bengtsson and other athletes visited Innsbruck's Ambras Castle. Archduke Ferdinand II lived here in the 16th century. In the lower part of the castle, there is an impressive display of armoury, which fascinated the athletes.
As a European citizen, I'm of course very interested in European history and medieval artifacts.
It's interesting, and although it's close to my home, it's something that I would never have seen if it wasn't for this competition, so that's cool.
We are really lucky as athletes to be able to see the world like this. I'm already loving Austria.
Back to the action, and in the women's long jump, Marina Bekra-Manchuk of Ukraine was looking to retain the title that she won here last year. The 23-year-old lay in third place ahead of her fifth jump. This leap of 6 meters 74 moved her into first place with just one athlete left to jump. That woman was Alina Rotaru of Germany. Rotaru's jump wasn't good enough and she had to settle for second place behind the Ukrainian.
Very good competition. I'm happy this second jump, very nice.
The crowd was really nice, and I hope to be jumping here again next year.
The men's pole vault was the final event, and Greece's Konstantinos Philippidis went into the competition as the defending champion.
Defending your title, defending something, every time is a big responsibility to the people, to the crowd that is coming to see you. So for me, it's a big pleasure tonight to defend my last year's title.
Philippidis knew that he faced tough competition from France's Axel Chapelle.
Of course, I want to always win, but there are some great athletes here today, especially Philippidis.
Chapelle failed in his first two attempts at 5 meters 51, and the pressure was on as he made attempt number 3. The Frenchman ended the day in third. 32-year-old Philippidis was the indoor world champion back in 2014, and he has a personal best of 5 meters 91. Here in Innsbruck, he cleared 5 meters 61 on his first attempt. It was good enough to give him another Golden Roof victory.
It was a very good competition. Fortunately, the conditions were very good, so we could perform well. My main goal was to make the new meeting record. I'm not sad because I'm very happy that I won this competition second time in a row.